Welcome back to the Kitschy Kitchen. I'm Joe, and if you like the episode, you can subscribe to the show. Hey guys, we're keeping it simple today. But you know, some of the best things in life are simple, like walking barefoot in the grass. You ever walk barefoot in the grass? It's phenomenal. Got a fun summer salad for you called the Caprese Salad. Caprese because it's supposedly where it comes from, which is the island of Capri. It's part of Italy, and if you're trying to find it on a map, you look at the boot and it's just above the ankle there, right about where the shin bone starts. Kinda just below where these pants are hidden. You know what these pants are called, don't you? Yeah, you do. They're called khakis. I don't own any capri pants. But the Caprese salad's great. It's refreshing. It's easy. It's almost like a candy salad. And it's the same colors as the Italian flag. Tomato red, mozzarella white, and basil green. The kind of tomato we're using today is called a Roma tomato. And just like the Caprese salad, it gets its name, Roma, because of where it comes from, which in this case is, of course, California. I got the mozzarella from Aldi, which is a nice balance of fresh and kitsch. You know, when I was a kid, I thought the only mozzarella was the shredded kind with the nice plastic coating around each shred so that they don't stick together. Imagine my surprise when I found out that some cheeses have a fresh version. And now for the basil. This is one herb I keep year round. Although in the winter, this guy was getting short on leaves and looking rough, like oofta. Basil's one of those herbs that's pretty expensive for what you get, and it doesn't last very long after you buy it. So I'm keeping mine in the pot, bud. Right next to Taliban Teddy Bear and his wife Fatima. Curious George is in between them because he's trying to convince Taliban Teddy Bear that his daughter Aisha should be able to get an education. Fatima agrees with George, but neither of them has been making much progress with Taliban Teddy. They'd probably all be a lot better off if they just had a little Caprese salad, which is what we're making. I used to get big old bottles of olive oil from Costco, but it turns out olive oil is really the juice of the olive, and that juice is only gonna stay fresh for so long. So I started getting smaller bottles. Get it as fresh as you can, get it cold pressed if you can, and if it gets old, it's probably worth it to get a new bottle. You can tell when it's time. The word for oil that got rotten is rancid. Rancid. Then there's the balsamic reduction. Now, Carmela Soprano's dad Hugo's mom, which is Carm's Nona if you're keeping track, she never even heard of balsamic.
Balsamic, balsamic, balsamic. My mother never heard of balsamic.
But you know what, Mr. DeAngelis? Recipes evolve. They get more fun. And about 8 times out of 10, don't you know they get better? So calm down, bud. There's probably a lot of things your mom never heard of. Now, I used to make my own balsamic reduction, which involves heating a balsamic vinegar of Moderna super low until some of the vinegar goes out of there, and then all that's left over there is the sugary glaze. And every time a friend of the Kitschy Kitchen told me, hey bud, don't you know they sell that in the already reduced glaze? I would say, no, I'm a purist, I'm gonna do it my way. But it turns out the ones they sell are actually pretty good. So maybe I needed to calm down a little bit. Hey bud? Okay, before we're cutting anything, we're sharpening our knife. Why? Because we're cutting things, it's not that hard, and we're not lazy. A little kitschy maybe, but not lazy. Tomatoes are washed, and when your knife is sharp, that's how it should go through the tomato. Real smooth. I get the tomato slices down on the plate there, and then I hit it with a little salt. On top of the salted tomato goes the mozzarella, and then the basil. Turns out you want to tear the basil instead of cutting it. You do that because if you cut it, the basil oxidizes on the places where you cut it, so it gets a little wilty. And then also, when you tear it, it bruises the leaf a little bit and lets out some of those aromatics. The third reason, and I don't know if this is true or not, but evidently some Italians think that if you cut the basil as opposed to tearing it, it's bad luck. And then a little drizzle of the olive oil and a little drizzle of the balsamic reduction. Flavors are all there, but the more you reduce your glaze and the more glaze you add, the more your Caprese salad tastes like a candy salad. Thanks for watching Kitschy Kitchen.